Have you ever felt completely stuck? Torn between two opposing choices? Two irreconcilable parts of yourself? Your head tells you to do one thing, but your heart screams for the opposite. Your desire for freedom clashes with your need for security. Your sense of duty is at war with your personal passion. In these moments, it feels like there is no right answer, no way forward. We feel paralyzed, trapped in the painful tension of a problem that logic cannot solve. We believe we must choose a side, that one part of us must win and the other must lose. But what if there was a third way? What if, from the very heart of this impossible conflict, a new, unexpected, and transcendent solution could be born? Carl Jung discovered a natural psychological process that does exactly this. He called it the Transcendent Function. It is the psyche's secret problem-solving ability, its ability to create a new reality by uniting the opposites. It is the forgotten magical key to resolving our deepest inner conflicts and moving to a new level of consciousness. What exactly is the Transcendent Function? It is a natural process of the psyche that emerges from the tension between the conscious and unconscious. It is the third thing that is not a logical compromise, but a new emergent reality that transcends and synthesizes the two opposing poles. Imagine you have two powerful, opposing forces within you. Let's call them the fire dragon of your passion and the ice dragon of your logic. They are locked in an endless battle, leaving you exhausted and paralyzed. The Transcendent Function is the alchemical process that can fuse these two warring beasts into a single new creature. A winged serpent, perhaps, that possesses the strengths of both, but is something entirely new. It is not something the ego can create through willpower. You cannot force a transcendent solution. Rather, the ego's job is to create the right conditions, to hold the tension, and to wait for this new thing to be born spontaneously from the depths of the unconscious. It is the psyche's innate problem-solving genius, its ability to create a bridge where there was once only an abyss. For this magical process to occur, one crucial prerequisite must be met. The individual must have the courage to hold the tension of the opposites. This is perhaps the most difficult work in all of psychology. Our natural instinct is to immediately resolve tension. When faced with a painful conflict, we want to choose a side, make a decision, and get rid of the uncomfortable feeling of being torn. We might suppress our emotions to follow a logical path or abandon logic to follow our heart. We choose one of the warring dragons and try to kill the other. But this, Jung argued, will never lead to a true transformation. It simply makes one side of our personality a tyrant and the other a resentful prisoner in the shadow. The alchemical work requires us to do the opposite. We must contain both the fire dragon and the ice dragon within the vessel of our conscious awareness. We must feel the full heat of the fire and the full cold of the ice at the same time, without collapsing into either one. This conscious endurance of the conflict creates an immense amount of psychic energy, a pressure cooker for the soul. It is this very tension, this fire of suffering, that activates the Transcendent Function. A key understanding is that the new, transcendent solution does not come from the conscious mind. Your ego, with all its brilliant plans and logical deductions, cannot solve this kind of problem. The ego is one of the opposites in the conflict. It is a participant, not the referee. The solution must come from a third place, a source of wisdom that is beyond the conflict. That source is the unconscious, and more specifically, the self. The Transcendent Function is the self's intervention in a problem that the ego cannot solve. When the ego has done all it can, when it has held the tension to the best of its ability and finally admits, "I don't know the way forward," it creates a vacuum. It is in this moment of surrender that a message can finally come through from the depths. The unconscious is not just a basement of repressed monsters. It is a wellspring of creative, life-giving potential. The Transcendent Function is that potential bubbling up to the surface. The solution it offers is not what the ego expected or wanted. It is frequently strange, symbolic, and non-rational. It is a new perspective that creatively reframes the entire problem, revealing a path that was previously invisible. When the Transcendent Function is activated, it almost always produces a uniting symbol. The new third way forward does not appear as a logical plan, but as a living symbol that contains and reconciles the two opposites. This symbol often appears in a dream, a fantasy, or a piece of creative work. The alchemists had many names for this uniting symbol: the philosopher's stone, the rebus, the divine androgyne. In our own psychology, it might appear as a dream of a winged serpent, a creature that unites the earthliness of the serpent with the spirituality of the wings. It might be a squared circle, a symbol that unites the material, earthly square with the spiritual, eternal circle. It could be a dream of a divine child who is born from the union of the archetypal king and queen, representing a new, innocent consciousness. This symbol is the pearl of great price. It is the living, energetic manifestation of the new psychic reality that has been born from the conflict. It is not just an idea, it is a potent healing image that carries the energy of wholeness. The ego's job is to recognize this symbol, to honor it, to meditate on it, and to try to understand its message. This symbol is the key that unlocks the stalemate and illuminates the new path forward. Let's make this practical. Imagine a person who is deeply conflicted between their thinking function and their feeling function. Their head tells them to take a stable, high-paying but soul-crushing corporate job. This is the logical, secure path. Their heart tells them to quit everything and become a starving artist, to follow their passion. This is the emotional, meaningful path. The two are in a brutal war. To choose one feels like a betrayal of the other. So this person decides to hold the tension. They feel the fear of poverty and the pain of meaninglessness at the same time. They don't make a rash decision. They journal about it. They meditate on it. They suffer the conflict consciously. Then one night, they have a dream. In the dream, they are a successful architect, designing beautiful, soulful, and environmentally conscious buildings. They wake up with a jolt. This is the transcendent function at work. The figure of the architect is the uniting symbol. It is not just the cold logic of an engineer, nor is it the pure passion of a painter. It is a new third profession that perfectly synthesizes their logical, structural mind with their creative, artistic heart. It's a path they had never consciously considered. It is the solution that arose from the fire of their conflict. Let's take another example: the conflict between sensation and intuition. Imagine a very practical, down-to-earth, and successful business owner. They trust facts, data, and tangible reality. The sensation function is their strength. But recently they have been plagued by strange, unsettling intuitions and symbolic dreams. Their intuition, their inferior function, is telling them that their entire industry is about to be disrupted by a new technology, even though the current data looks stable. The conflict is immense. Their logical, sensation-based mind says, everything is fine, the numbers are good, don't be foolish. Their unconscious intuition whispers, danger is coming, you must change. Instead of repressing the intuition as nonsense, they hold the tension. They continue to run their business based on the facts, but they also honor the intuitive message by researching the new technology, by journaling about their dreams. They live in the uncomfortable space between what is and what could be. The transcendent function is activated. The uniting symbol comes not as a dream, but as a flash of insight, a new business strategy. They realize they can use their current stable business sensation as a platform to slowly invest in and develop the new, visionary technology, intuition. They will not abandon their secure foundation, nor will they ignore the call of the future. They have found a third way, a synthesis that honors both realities. This process fundamentally changes the role of the ego. In a normal unconscious state, the ego sees itself as the king, the ruler, the problem solver. When faced with a conflict, its job is to use its willpower and logic to force a solution. But in the process of individuation, the ego learns a profound lesson in humility. Its role shifts from that of a king to that of a midwife. A midwife does not create the baby. The baby is a product of a mysterious, natural, life-giving process far beyond her control. The midwife's job is to create a safe space, to be patient, to listen, to assist the natural process, and to skillfully receive the new life when it is ready to be born. So it is with the ego in its relationship to the transcendent function. The ego cannot create the new uniting symbol that is born from the mysterious union of opposites in the unconscious. The ego's job is to act as the midwife. It must create the safe container through self-reflection. It must endure the painful process, holding the tension, and it must be ready to receive and care for the new consciousness when it emerges. This requires the ego to surrender its desire for control and to trust in a wisdom greater than its own. It is a shift from, "I will solve this," to, "I will create the conditions for a solution to emerge." How can we, in our own lives, consciously cultivate the transcendent function? It begins with the attitude we've already discussed. When faced with a significant inner conflict, we must resist the urge to immediately resolve it. We must learn to hold the tension. Beyond that, there are practices that can help create the right conditions for the third thing to emerge. The first is active imagination. As we've explored, this is the art of having a direct dialogue with the opposing parts of yourself. You could literally invite your inner thinker and your inner feeler to have a conversation, with your ego acting as the mediator. The second is creative expression. When you are stuck, turn to nonverbal forms of expression. Paint your conflict, sculpt it, dance it, play it on an instrument. By taking it out of the realm of pure thought, you allow the unconscious to speak in its native language of symbol and image, which can often reveal the uniting path forward. The third is, as always, paying attention to dreams. During a period of intense conflict, the psyche will work overtime in your dreams to produce a solution. The dream will often present the very uniting symbol that your conscious mind has been unable to find. By honoring these practices, you are actively participating in the work. You are telling your soul that you are ready for the next stage of your own evolution. The transcendent function is the secret magic of the human psyche. It is our innate ability to create unity from division, harmony from conflict, and a new future from a deadlocked past. It teaches us that we do not have to live as a house divided against itself. We do not have to choose between our head and our heart, our light and our shadow, our practicality and our dreams. We can become the alchemical vessel in which these opposites meet, and from their fiery, passionate, and often painful union, a new, more whole, more resilient, and more creative self can be born. This is the promise of the transcendent function. It is the path of the third. It is the secret to resolving not just our inner conflicts, but to living a life of continuous growth, surprise, and profound integration. The solution to your most impossible problem is not in choosing one side over the other. It is waiting to be born from the tension in the middle. Thank you for joining us on this deep exploration. If this message about resolving inner conflict resonated with you, please show your support by liking this video, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next journey into the depths of the human psyche.